The following is a Live the Dream Media production.
Hello, happy Monday. Good morning, Marana.
Yes, sir.
Got my buddy, my car guy, Jason Quirk on. Love it, man. Come on, happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you, my friend.
I got to tell you that Good Morning Marana, you know where that came from? The movie Good Morning Vietnam.
Well, yeah.
With Robin Williams. And that was written by a guy I know, Ben Moses.
Oh, really?
He's from Mount Vernon, Illinois.
Really?
And he served in, he knew, I think his name was Cronauer, Adrian Cronauer.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that the character he played? So that's where that came from.
I like your version.
Good morning, Marana. Happy Monday.
Let's run with it.
Let's run with it. So, welcome to the show. I want to start with a question, and I'm going to take this time then to share what we're doing on my page, but I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
And it's probably going to be a quick one. But I woke up this morning and my tire, my passenger side rear, is showing needs air. Why does that happen every time the weather changes, especially when it drops?
Well, it's because of the barometric pressure inside the tires. So, I think yesterday was 80 degrees.
Right.
Right now it's like 65. So those little sensors inside the wheels are telling the computer, I got a low tire, but it's not. It's just that the pounds per square inch are different because of the weather.
So there's no way to fix that other than put that juju in the tires.
Or you just stop by the shop and we check it for you.
Yeah. Maybe you just take it for me when
we can do that right now.
See, Jason walked over, but
I guess I'm driving back.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you are.
Oh, well, all right.
You know what? You see how easy Hey, I said to Marielle just a moment ago, introduced you guys, Gabe's wife.
Better horn.
But I said if Jason and the boys at Furriers can't fix it for you, you just need a new vehicle.
Yeah, we just get you a new one. I can set you up though at the dealership. At the same time.
So we've been talking about having you back on since you were here maybe a month ago now or whatever it was, and we want to do a regular thing with you guys because you guys are just so good to us, and you offer such insight. But I want to talk today about summarizing your car. And I don't mean summarizing, I mean summarizing your car. Because here we go. We're happy Cinco de Mayo, right?
Yes,
May 5th, to date this particular episode. Everybody's going to be at least in the Tucson area. Phoenix the same way, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's going to be heading to San Diego or L.A. or Disneyland or
anywhere
wherever they're going, Some people go north,
Wherever there's water.
But there's a lot of things that we need to be checking on our vehicles before we go, including tire. Make sure your tires, that should be a no-brainer. Start with that. But what are the things, Jason, that you would recommend that most people do other than bring the car to Furriers and let them do all the what's a checklist you would do? How about that?
Well, the thing I would do is just make sure everybody in the family knows what the lights on the dashboard are. Pretty much put your ignition on without starting the car. See all the lights that illuminate on the dashboard, and then start your car. If any of those remain, you might have an issue. But the thing with what we call it at Jack Furrier's is getting your car road trip ready.
Road trip ready.
So we offer a package called the Road Tripper. Pretty much we're going to go check the tires, set the air pressure. And the one thing that everybody forgets about, check your spare. If your vehicle has one. A lot of the newer vehicles don't have one.
Yeah.
Check your spare. Just make sure that everybody in the family knows what the lights are about. You just check the fluids, check the tires. Just give it the once over. Just get everything ready. Because if you're going to be between here and San Diego, you don't want to get caught in Yuma, with a flat tire or a blowout or, anything, a radiator leak or anything like that. There's plenty of things that you can do as a consumer. Or you can just bring it into Jack Furrier, stop in, we top them off, set your air pressure, and down the road you go.
I'm gonna do the latter. Hey, I'm gonna go to what you just said there a second ago. When you've got mine down there, checking the tire pressure in the rear passenger side, Hey, check my spare. I've never seen it, so I don't know where it's at.
Well, the car's new to you, too,
Yeah,
so it wouldn't be something
I
you're
don't
busy
know where it's
enjoying
at.
it.
Check it out for me. See what I've got. You
Yeah.
think it's under the car, or is it?
Oh,
it's not a car. Is it in the rear part there?
Yeah, on your SUV, it's a AT4 Suburban, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's up underneath. But I think we just patched the tire on the passenger rear, so we might have an issue there.
No, that was the front. That was
Oh,
the front. The front. Yeah, because I thought that was the front drivers
And also
that had a nail in it.
with
Of
the
course, we don't know how long the nail had been. And I might have bought it with the nail in it.
Well, it came free. You know, it came free. Yeah, you get that. That was an extra added bonus. But the thing with the newer vehicles, they have these things called TPMS sensors in the wheels, tire pressure monitoring system.
So it would probably show that then, wouldn't it?
It would. But if you've ever had the tires rotated or anything, the tires off the car, you have to relearn the vehicle to tell that the driver rear is in the driver rear's position. Or if you do a rotation, you know, it would say driver front, but it's actually driver rear. So you have to reprogram that. So what I'll do is when I bring your vehicle over there, I'll check it and make sure everything's on the
See
level.
why it makes it so easy? You know, we take a lot of this stuff for granted as a driver because I don't work on my cars at all, period.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how you do unless you're really a mechanic. Back in the good old days when I was a kid, you could tinker around with stuff. You could get to stuff.
Oh, yeah. These days.
Stuff was pretty easy. There's just no way. I'm not, God made these hands to count money.
Well, I'm mechanically inclined, but I got the soft hands that work at the front counter. The only tool I use is a pen and a keyboard. So in my 45-year lineage, I'm at the point to where I just toss these youngsters the keys and say, hey, tell me what's wrong with it.
That's a good question. One other thing you mentioned, and I don't want to lose sight of this. You said something, and I think this is pretty important. And I'm going to tell a personal anecdote to validate that. You said when you're getting ready to go somewhere, show your whole family when you turn on the ignition. Let your whole family use it.
Yeah, the kids.
You know what? I think that's important, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to give you a real quick story. You may not even be old enough to remember these stories. Back in the day, you used to have two keys. You had an ignition key and a trunk key. I don't know if you're old enough. I don't know when that change happened.
Yeah, it's like an older 70s, 80s.
Okay.
You had a door key and you had an ignition key. One was square, one was round.
Or oval. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So here's how nerdy I am. I'm a nerd, by the way, when it comes to numbers. We were somewhere, and I was probably 10 years old. And somehow the keys got locked in the trunk. Both the ignition and trunk keys somehow got locked in the trunk. I don't recall how that happened. I might have been a part of that. I don't think I was, but I could have been. But I had memorized the numbers of those keys in my head.
Oh wow!
And so, and it was a number, 8, 10, 12 digits long, probably with a D or a Q or something mixed in. And I was able to give my parents the number, and they had a key made from a dealership because I had the number in my head.
Well, you're a numbers guy.
No, I'm a numbers guy. So to drive home the point, make sure everybody in your car, I don't think you need to, get your baby up there. I don't think that's going to do you any good. But get your kids familiar with the process.
Oh yeah, because they're going to end up driving someday.
Yeah, at an early age. Matter of fact, that's how I kind of taught my kids. Was again, I'm a nerd. We got to be careful, and I'm a professional driver with a lot of miles under my belt with no real issues. I talk to them all the time, even from the time they were young, about what we're doing. Here's how. Can you imagine being raised by me?
Oh, well, I think I've been working on Hayden's car since he's been able to drive.
Yeah, well, you have.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Because we moved, because he'll be 32 Thursday.
Goodness.
Isn't that crazy?
I feel old.
So he's 16, and we've been back here 17 years, and we've been going to Furrier since we moved in. So, yeah, you've been working both my kids' cars.
Oh, definitely. And speaking on personal things, have you let the world know that you're?
Well, not really.
Well, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm a grandpa.
Papa Clint.
Papa Clint, first baby.
Papa Clint, and we got Grammy Tammy.
Yeah, Sawyer Marie. Jordan had her. I was doing a wedding Saturday night, And when we got done with the wedding, Tammy goes, "Look what we got."
What a
Some
gift.
pictures, yeah.
What a gift.
Look just like her mama.
And when you're saying you're doing a wedding, you were doing the wedding.
I was officiating a wedding.
That's so
some dear friends of mine were their kids were getting married, and they asked me if I'd do it, and I was, of course, honored.
Now, I just learned this morning. Well, yesterday
honored.
when I saw the post, but congratulations. Welcome to the grandpa world.
John and Kathy Officer's daughter.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Good people.
Welcome to the grandpa guild.
Yeah, and it all happened at one time. So I told them when they were signing their license, I'll never forget your anniversary and how long you've been married.
I didn't even think about that. That's amazing.
I married another couple a few years ago. I don't remember exactly how long ago, but it was on Tammy's birthday.
Oh, wow.
So I always remember what they're.
Well, you never forget.
Hey, I'm not for hire, by the way.
Special occasion.
I got to know you pretty well. Jason suggested I do funerals, and that is an absolute hard no. I got people that do funerals, but I'm not one of them. Hey, thanks for giving me the opportunity to shout that out.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they're in Boise, so we'll be doing frequent flyer miles to Idaho. But
that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's good stuff.
Go during the summer when we're coming up.
100%. Already told them that. They already know. They've been there a year now, or close to it. Not coming in from September to April. I'm not. We went in March. It wasn't too bad. We went a couple weeks.
Grandpa
month
Clint's
ago.
On the way.
Yeah, I'm on the way. Probably not going to drive it. I used to drive that stretch a lot. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
But it's a long drive.
Oh no, yeah, that's
maybe once in a while. But my buddy John, who's going to be on here pretty soon, is he's a big shot at the airport. I think he's number 2 out there. And I'm like, hey, I need better. I need a better.
Oh, you're getting in.
Better access to Boise.
getting in on the first class.
Yeah,
special.
Yeah. Well, we check it out. We had first class when we went a month ago. We had first class. They canceled the flight last minute.
Oh,
Delta. Thank you, Delta. So we had to end up driving to Phoenix to catch that flight that we were going to catch anyway.
Oh.
So we couldn't, which was okay. I mean, although it cost me $40 a day to park there.
Yeah.
Whew, that's tough. But,
you got to get there.
But so we got bumped from first class to. We actually had better seats than first class on that particular plane.
Rolling coach. The whole,
we were in
we
were in the emergency lane, and I could not touch the seat in front of me. It's stretched out as far as I can go, and my sister somehow kept the the first class seats. And she texted me, "How's life back there?" And I'm like, "Better than up there with you." And you know what's crazy about those particular? We did fly back first class. There's no difference. You're just on early and off early. That's the only difference.
I think I saw that post. You look like a 3-year-old on a church pew, the legs just hanging.
And that wasn't even really showing. I probably had that much space between my feet and the seat in front of me.
Hey, well.
And we made some awesome friends, and I'll tell you partly why. We had these little Jesuses, and I don't know what they said to prompt me to do it. Not much. They just said hello, probably. And I gave them both the husband and wife, a little Jesus, and we made some friends on our way to Boise who lived there.
Well, that's good.
And we've already talked to them, and we'll be back to see them again.
Well, like you said, I'm getting ready to take your vehicle back over to the shop, and every time I get in it, there's a cup holder full of baby Jesus.
Help yourself. And there's a bunch out here now. A bunch out here.
Hey,
so help
I got one right by my computer.
He does.
It's right there.
Okay, let's get our cars ready to go because again, graduation's kicking in.
Oh yeah,
everybody's graduating.
We just had prom. We have graduations. The kids are getting ready to get in the cars and they're gonna go have fun in the summer. And some of the kids just got their license.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
A lot of them.
A lot. It's scary. I got 2 kids that are driving. Getting ready. Well, actually 3. Getting ready to have a 4th one behind the wheel. It's pretty nerve-wracking. Even us being car guys, teaching them how to drive. Like you remember when Hayden started driving.
Yeah.
But it's more stress on us than it is on them, I think.
Well, I remember, especially when they started driving, you just couldn't really get still until you heard that garage door come up.
Oh yeah. Well, because I'm more
11,
worried.
50.
Because with us, we're car people. We teach our kids how to drive,
Yeah.
but what about everybody else that's on the road?
Well, here's what I was taught as a young driver: drive for 5.
Mm-hmm.
Drive for 5. That means for yourself. Know where you're at. Pay attention. Put your phones down.
Oh, that's the biggest thing.
Please. The other day, we were coming back. We went to Patagonia, and we came up. We went down the east side, but we came back on 19. And I drive pretty quick. Speed to me isn't worth my the problem's whipping in and out, not paying attention. And we're all clipping along on 19, pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I've heard the stories about you. How you drive. I think Phoenix.
I'm on a mission from God.
You're in here between here and Phoenix about an hour and a half.
Oh no,
about an hour.
Yeah, a little bit more. But we're doing 80. 82, everybody's smooth.
Yeah.
And I look over and this lady, she's texting, literally, and running with us, and then whips in behind me. And I can see she's still got her phone up. And I'm like, come on, please, put your phone down.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you texting to someone that's more important than what you're doing in the...
Well, you got to think, if you're texting somebody, who do you have with you in your car?
I don't know if
the people that are in your vehicle should be the most important to you because you're responsible for their well-being.
Bless you.
Bless you.
I've been sneezing a bunch. The pollen's crazy right now.
Oh, yeah.
I went on a roll on Wednesday, and Tammy's like, or Saturday, Tammy's like, man, you better blow your nose before you do that wedding.
Well, you see the wind out there today. Exactly like we were talking about cars. It's in Tucson, everybody thinks it's the heat that kills stuff. It's not. It's the rapid weather change. Mm-hmm. That's what kills batteries. They heat and contract so quickly.
Check my battery while you got it, too.
I can definitely.
I got a newer vehicle, but the reality of it is
we're in harsher conditions.
A lot of things can happen pretty quickly.
The one thing I tell people, and they do it all the time, and all I can do is just tell them, please do not do this. They bring their car in for a extensive repair, like a water pump or something in that nature. And then he said, "Oh, okay, you got it all fixed up. We're getting ready to head out of town."
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not something you want to do. You want to, if you're going to get an extensive repair, do it a couple days before you go out of town.
Don't show up at 7 and you're planning on leaving at 9.
Yeah, and it's just common sense, I would say. But they think that
it's not common
anymore. But all I can do is advise. That's that's my job. I'm not a salesman. Yeah. I'm not a service manager. Well, I am, but I'm a service advisor. All I can do is advise you on what we recommend in the business to do. And you're going to do what you want to do, but that's my job, to advise you.
I'm going to double down on that, Jason. That's the reason why you got our business early. Because Ina Road's just full of car people. 29
automotive repair facilities between Freeway and Meredith.
29. And that for anyone that's following along at home, I don't think that's even a mile.
No,
because it can't be a mile from there to Thorningdale.
Well, yeah, it's
maybe a half mile.
Yeah, and I'm counting from the Freeway to Meredith.
Yeah,
because I had to do in my last job, I did a lot of market research. And
that's got to be less than a mile.
Yeah.
So in less than a mile from the freeway, going east is 29 car dealers.
29 automotive repairs.
Automotive repairs. Yeah. And I've used a few of them before I found you. You're the only one of that bunch that didn't have a whole litany of things I needed to do to my car.
Oh, yeah.
Based on, and I have newer vehicles, so typically all I do is oil changes that I could really get for free. But I don't want that. I want you guys to start having ownership in my vehicles early.
That's exactly right.
Every vehicle I've had's had pretty much lifetime free oil changes.
Yeah,
but I got to drive to the dealer way downtown, and that's a drive. And I got to either sit there and wait for them to get them done. And they've got a whole list of things. And I'm like, how did my car even make it in here?
Exactly.
You guys have never, of all the time we've ever, and again, it's 17 years, Wednesday or Friday, or Saturday, the 3rd, also the grandbaby, the wedding and all that was also our 17th year in that location.
Oh, well, you got it all wrapped up.
I got it all, yeah. You guys have never, ever high pressured me about cabin filters or any of that stuff. Yeah. And only on a rare occasion. Again, I have newer vehicles, so I'm not suggesting that you guys aren't on it. But only a couple of times have you guys said, hey, maybe your tire, and you've done it maybe a little with Hayden too. Hey, your tires, maybe the next time you change the oil or next couple times you might consider.
Yeah, we always try to be like proactive. Like in that scenario, I had a customer came in, gave me a laundry list from a Subaru dealership. Mm-hmm. And she had the maintenance for life, of course. She gets the lifetime oil changes for free. But what is really free?
Yeah.
So they give her a list. You need this, and this. And she's like, well, my car's got 30,000 miles. Why would it need all of this?
Right.
Again, maintenance for life for free. It's not always free. Brings me this list of everything. There's probably a list of 10 different scenarios, whether it's a flush or a filter or an alignment.
Right.
She needed one.
Yeah.
Out of the 10
1 out of
things.
10.
1 out of 10 things she actually needed.
Last summer, I think I brought a vehicle in, a family member that you take care of. Mm-hmm. And according to them, they needed an oil change. And the first thing you said, without even looking, you're like, yeah, I don't think you need an oil change. We just did one. And I'm like, that seemed pretty quick. Of course, I'm not paying attention.
Oh, no.
And, and again, those are those things that I really appreciate. That's why you need to take your car to Jack Furrier's on Ina, basically Ina and Old Father.
Yes, sir.
Is the address. And let them just keep your car maintained and ready to go. And that way I don't have any problems with vehicles.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, if you need an oil change or something like that, we can, do like the road tripper. But if you're getting ready to head out of town, just pull on in. I'll have one of my guys out there in a hot minute, checking your air pressure, topping off your fluids. Washer fluid is one of the big things. Yeah. It's, you don't usually have to top off a lot of fluids, but washer fluid. Yeah. It's a weird thing that nobody thinks about. Hey, you're getting ready to head out of town. It might not rain or anything like that, but bugs or something like that. But just come on in. You don't have an appointment. You just drive on in.
In all my years, you can tell by looking at me, I'm an old dude. You're by far the best car people I've ever had, and I always searched for that. And I remember who turned me on to it was Shane back here.
Back at the barbershop.
Yeah, and that was Shane. 17 years ago because I would hit him all along Ina, and I took him over here. Oh no, go to Furrier's, and that's back when Ryan was there with you.
Oh yeah, and Shay was the guy that was back there.
Yeah, Shay.
Great guy.
Yeah, great guy. I haven't seen him in a long time, but he got me straight, and from then on, and I've talked to your bosses more than once here recently, and I'm like, I need to see this guy with at least a 25-year contract. After that, you're all good. You do. You'll be retired then anyway. So, and I might be in heaven by then.
Well, you say you're older in age, but I got more grandkids than you got.
Yeah, well,
I'm 4 deep. You only got the one.
One, and she's 2 days old. That's why I was encouraging my children to, hey, I need a baby. Like ASAP. Come on, let's do this.
Well.
I'm not going to say what I normally say, but I used to tell them not to, and now I'm telling them I need you to go.
Pick up the pace a bit.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I remember, speaking of children, and we'll just go personal here now. I remember your kids when they were, well, how old's Jason?
Jason's 26 now.
Okay, so going back 17 years or somewhere around there, him and your daughter.
Oh, yeah, Ariana.
Ariana used to come in after school and hang out and help us with cookies and help us with stuff. Oh, yeah. And they were probably, 8 and 10 years old when they'd hang out with us?
They would always come to the shop after they got out of school over here at Thornydale. But then they would go back there with you guys.
I could see them on the street, on the corner, crossing the street here, coming in. And it's just, that went by, so he's 26?
26. This went by...
Man, that went by. Well, 17 years. We've been in business 20. Oh, wow. But 17 in this plaza. We were over on the other side for a little while. Thornydale when we first started. But that went by so quick. So your children were they were what, 3rd, 4th grade?
Yeah.
And now you got 4 grandchildren from those children.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that crazy? What happened to the time, Jason?
It just flew by.
Yeah, we were all kids when we showed up here. Well, you were for sure. I was basically the same age you are now when we got here. Think about it.
I started at Furrier's when I was in my 20s.
Yeah,
so
that's when I met you. And you're how old now? 40?
45.
Yeah. Well, 17 years ago I met you.
Yeah.
Wow. So you were 28 years old. I tell that to Anton all the time. I'm like, you're younger, or you were younger when I met you than my kids are now.
Well, the funniest thing about the Tucson being that me and Anton went to high school together.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everybody went to high school together but me. It's wild. You know, I had a good friend of mine. I'm going to call him out. And if Chris DeSimone's listening right now, I go, Rick Peralt, my dear buddy. I've known him since I first moved here. He now lives in Phoenix, but he was living here at the time. And I was in sporting goods. And he goes, Clint, let me give you some advice. That's the way he talked back then. He's mellowed out now that he's pushing 60. He was not mellow then. Everybody knows everybody in this town.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's related to everybody. Everybody knows anybody. If you cut a deal for one dude, you're going to have to cut that deal for 14 people because he knows 14 people.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I didn't need that advice, but I appreciate that advice. Oh, I treat everybody the same. You know, if I have made a deal with somebody, there's a reason I did it. And if you and I have the same reason, then I'll cut you, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But when he told me, and I've repeated that over and over, here I am 23 years later still repeating that. Everybody knows. Tammy and I can't go anywhere in this town, even south of the river, that you don't see somebody you know.
Well, especially these days.
Yeah.
You're all over the internet.
Yeah. Well, that's what Rick said. How are you going to hide from anybody? But to prove my point, we're at this wedding. This young couple comes up. Tanner and Dominic, nice young couple. Got their number. I'm going to call him up. He's in the mining business, and we still got tons of copper everywhere up
big
here.
In Arizona.
It is, come on,
huge.
But so after the wedding, Tammy is showing the new grandbaby, and Dominic looks and goes, "Well, I know Jordan. I went to school with her."
Oh yeah, that's Tucson.
And you're like, well, yeah, of course you did. You know, where everybody knows everybody.
That's the biggest little town in the world.
Without, Reno claims to have that title, but there's no way.
Oh no, yeah. That's...
I feel like I grew up here, and I didn't get here till I was well in my 40s.
Oh yeah, we would when me and the wife and the kids would go to the swap meet. It'd be a contest.
It's who knew the most people.
No. How long until somebody says hi to Dad?
Yeah,
I'm like, and it turned into a contest.
Yeah,
it's the funniest thing about it is the longest distance though.
Yeah,
we're in San Diego in line at SeaWorld. Somebody taps me on the shoulder.
Yeah,
hey Jason.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah,
you can't go anywhere in this state or this region that people don't see and know you. Wow, we flew right through a half an hour, dude.
Oh yeah, we did.
Look at that.
Look at this guy.
Last minute. I'm getting ready to go to San Diego. I'm getting ready to go to Boise, Idaho. What do you recommend I do?
I would say if you're not due for an oil change or a service, just stop by any of the 14 locations of Jack Furrier's. No appointment necessary. Slide on in. Do a quick air pressure check. Check your fluids. If you got any issues, we'll be able to tell right then and there. Down the road you go. And
do it a day or two before you're actually going to leave. Because if you do have a problem.
Well, yeah, if we see you got tires that are from 2017 and dry rotted, no, we don't want you driving all the way to San Diego because the heat will affect that situation and you'll be on the side of the road with AAA.
Yeah.
But all it takes is just slide on in and we can take care of it.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the Grandpa Guild.
Yeah. Love it.
Happy Clint.
Okay. Hey, so guys, I can't recommend Furrier's enough. I mean, they just have kept me going for the last almost 2 decades. I appreciate everything you guys do, everything you stand for. Love the whole family. Get on over to Furrier's right now. And even if you're not taking a trip, why would you take a chance of getting caught in rush hour or running back and forth to work? Get on over there. I hope you're planning on taking a little break. Guys, we appreciate you. In just a moment, David Samarano and Gabe from Blacktop Grill will be in here talking all things hot doggish and foodish.
Well, hopefully there's some hot dogs and some foods out there.
Yeah, well, I know there's some birthday cake left over. Appreciate you guys. See you next week. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Looking for the best outdoor patio in Tucson? Look no further than St. Philip's Plaza at the southeast corner of River and Campbell, where you can sip on Tucson's finest collection of whiskey at Union Public House, brunch 7 days a week at Reforma Modern Mexican Mezcal and Tequila, and experience our newest restaurant, Proof, proudly serving house-made pasta and artisanal pizza. Enjoy live music and dine under the stars with Union, Reforma, and Proof. Join us at St. Philip's Plaza.
Hi, this is Sean McCluskey, co-owner and designated broker for Rincon Ventures. If you're a rental owner by choice or by accident and you're looking to hire or change property management companies, consider Rincon Ventures. We employ an aggressive web-based advertising strategy to market your rental. We thoroughly screen prospective tenants and conduct routine property inspections. Our online system gives tenants the ability to pay rent and file maintenance requests instantly over the web. Our owners can use the same system to instantly check on their properties. Call Rincon Ventures at 881-2258 or visit us on the web at rvprop.com.
80% of those that have been incarcerated have been in foster care. So that's crazy to think that 8 out of every 10 inmates, male or female, have touched the foster care system. So if we can break the cycles that cause the foster care system to even be in existence, we're going to change society.
At Gap, I found love.
I found family.
It means hope. It was almost like I had a family away from my own family. At Gap, I found home.
Hi, we're back. And if you're looking for Clint Peak, he isn't in here. And I am taking his spot. And it feels great to be back here in the studio. It looks like there's been a brief little pause there. Okay, we're good. I saw that, Shay. Now, Local Marana Live. Here we are live. I've got Gabe Ceniceros here in the studio with us to talk about a couple different things that are going on in his life. And he's going to provide us some mentorship towards the end of the episode. And it's always great to have a Marana local business here with us. We love promoting local. We love the Blacktop Grill.
Yeah,
it's a family favorite. I'm sure I've helped pay for the electric bill a couple times.
Yes, you have. And I appreciate it.
So what's going on? You got this book here. You got it all nice and it's standing here. What is this, Gabe? What are you doing? You own a restaurant and a couple food trucks connected to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're over here writing books.
Yeah.
Okay. You're just high speed. What's going on with that?
High speed, man. I'm just like, I'm just, I guess not really high speed. I'm just very good with my time. You know what I mean?
We're going to talk about that, man.
Yeah, definitely. And this book actually started in 2020 when we were on lockdown. So fun fact that I solidified the restaurant in 2020 and also started writing, just kind of brainstorming, if you will, chapters. And I kept going. I can't remember how long lockdown was. Do you remember that? I don't remember.
Well, they told us 2 weeks, and then it turned into like
months.
Because we had our daughter in 2021, May of 2021.
Yeah.
And COVID stuff was still going on. Like I wasn't even allowed to be there with my wife when she was in labor.
That's crazy.
Isn't that messed up?
That's
and the folks couldn't see their loved ones that were going through some medical issues. Yeah.
There was a lot,
so that was
happened in that time.
So yeah, well over a year, right?
Crazy time.
Yeah, March. So that was a year and 2 months at that point. So
everybody told me I was nuts, man, for opening a restaurant then, but it was, I wear it like a badge of honor, really.
Mm-hmm.
Opening up in the middle of a global pandemic. Anyway, back to the book. It's kind of when I started writing it, brainstorming chapters, and so it's been kind of a long process. And then once the restaurant got open, there's a lot of tightening up to do, for lack of better terms, and it kind of was kind of on the shelf. So whenever I got stuff in order, I started running into editors, and the timing was just kind of like perfect. It was crazy. And editing started, and then I ran into a publisher, and now it's like published and ready to go. So it's been a process, but it was always kind of like on the back burner, and I've kind of learned how to use my time to the fullest daily, and productive time, if you will.
Yeah. Hey, Shay, can you pop the book cover up? I sent it in the Slack channel, and the title of it. Tell us about the title of the book.
A food truck success manual: 10 money saving, money making, time management strategies for somebody that's starting a food truck. It's a lot of fun stories and a lot of stuff that I've been through, but starting a food truck is probably it's very overwhelming. When you start anything, right, there's a lot of turning wheels and you're overwhelmed and you're scared and you're tired, and I remember all of it. I still remember all of it, and I basically compressed it to give people direction and take a lot of the headaches and some of the big mistakes that I made off their plate, hopefully. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So that's the why behind it. You're looking out for your fellow person getting involved.
I wish I would have
And there it is. Look at that. A food truck success manual.
I love
See,
that.
I told you.
Yeah,
See?
It's beautiful.
Thank you,
right?
Shay.
Yeah.
It is. That's a really cool picture.
Yeah,
Who did
there's
that
a lot
picture?
of headaches and a lot of like crying and a lot of in that book. And
It was made with tears.
yeah, and definitely, man. Like I wish, now with the internet and YouTube and all that stuff, I wish I would have had some of the mentors that are available now, like at the fingertips, at our fingertips. And I hope this book finds the people that are trying to start that food truck and really like help them make their career a success.
Yeah. That kind of book is something you would think if, it belonging in some of the junior colleges or culinary programs,
Yeah.
Because
I never even thought of it like that, man. Wow.
Because we often talk about what it takes to build something from the ground up.
Yeah.
And take an idea and turn it into something that's streamlined. And
yeah, it's a lot harder than you think it's going to be.
It really is. And more often than not, I think people end up talking about, if you look at your influencers, your entrepreneurs online, a lot of times they end up talking about all the stuff they didn't know going into it. It's not the book stuff. The book literature and the information they were provided going into college and getting their business degree and whatever. And I'm not knocking business degrees or anything like that at all. Like it's great to have the fundamentals of what you need to get done, budgeting and planning, but there's something that comes with the tenacity needed and the decision making that has to happen.
Definitely.
And even in the locale you're in, right? There's so many variables that go into it.
Yeah.
Your market is not the same as the market, 5 miles away.
That's right.
Right.
It changes, like
demos change. Their access to certain resources change.
Definitely.
Sales taxes change depending where you're at. Right. Are you in the 100%. County? Or are you? So there's so many different things to take into that. And then you have somebody come out with a book like, hey, this is how you can get off the ground running.
Yeah.
Yeah. You take all the other information, the fundamentals,
right.
But then adding that.
It's the wisdom you build along the way, man, that you're not going to find in a, in a college and or in a college book, I guess, really.
Yeah.
Not knocking, business, curriculums or anything like that, but this is some of the stuff you figure out the hard way, you know what I mean? And I've been lucky enough, and I say lucky because, it's kind of changed my trajectory and man, it saved me from headaches time and time again, really. At the end of the day.
You refer to your own manual?
Yeah, I go to chapter 6.
There we go. All right, I've experienced this before. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly.
What did I do
I know
then?
I have.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
And I've been through it all, man. I just hit 11 years on the food truck by itself. So, I've been through some stuff already and stuff starts getting repetitive, if you will. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I haven't experienced, but a lot of it I have already, and it's what tightens you up as a person, really, and food truck speaking as a food truck owner, really.
Right. Well, I mean, it goes into a lot of things too. We talk about leadership and stuff here, and we did the Live to Lead event that we sponsored, and you were there.
Yeah,
thanks for being there. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, I love it.
It's a good time.
Yeah, I love it.
But I mean, when you go to an event like that, there's some stuff you're going to hear again. Right?
Yes.
It's like reiterated, like, hey, you need to do A, B, and C to make this happen, to build these relationships, these connections.
Yeah.
And
we need to hear it.
We do.
Yeah.
Well, I think you need to hear something like 8 times before you, or an average person needs to hear something 8 times before they.
And I'm below average, man. I probably need to hear it about 16 to 20 times.
That's funny. No, it's a necessary thing to get those reps in, and I think about the book and what it provides to folks.
Yes,
you
sir.
know,
Yeah.
and it's outside of the stuff we see all the time where somebody's like, hey, sign up for my class, you know, my online class, pay, you know, $500 to sign up for my online class. And then you just don't even know what you're getting out of that. Right.
Yeah.
It's one and done.
Sure. Yeah. This book, I'm not in it for the money, man. Really, like, at the end of the day, I was invited a lot to coffees and, that situation. And I could only go out to so many coffees. So, hey, why not have a book? Right. And it's kind of my way of giving back too. Like I wish I had a me when I was getting started. And I just hope to be that motivator and hope to be that person that, claps for you, at the end of the day. And hopefully, like, you take that career to another level, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a food truck. You could be sure I'm always going to be clapping for you and, know, in the background. I'm that guy.
Speaking of clapping for people were clapping for you recently because you won a taco contest.
Yeah.
You did. Recently. Hey, Shay, can you pop that picture up of him getting his award here? At the Button Brew House, is that where it was at?
That's right. Yeah.
Here in Marana business.
Competitions, man, and they bring in some amazing. There he is.
All right, who's on the your left? Who's our left? Who's on the left over there?
Oh man,
who's that?
I then forgive me because I forget their names, but the gentleman on my left with the turquoise it's an honor really to like, win something like that, especially against these guys that are like. Just know their stuff,
So, what was the basis of the competition with the tacos? Were you doing best taste, best look? I mean, what went into it, and what?
Yeah,
were you
so they
go
off all the above. So essentially, I think one of the ones was aroma, the other one was presentation, the other one was it's taste. Obviously, you get these, boxes, the check mark, and so you get it all, and that's what the judges are going for. They also had like a people's choice, so I won judges' choice, people's choice. The catering gentleman won that one, and he had like this pork belly taco.
That was my next question. Were you able to use whatever meat you decided?
Yeah, you could do whatever you want. Yeah, okay. You could do whatever you want. So we do what we do, and we actually carry this taco in the restaurant. We serve it all the time. I know it's bomb. And I just wanted to let the crowd know that they are. And then we did, and then proudly take home that win.
All right. Well, congratulations. Let's give him the round of applause from the local. There it is. Yeah. Okay, so we got like 15 minutes, and we were talking outside. Yourself, Marielle's here. She's hanging out. You got your partner in crime over here, and we were all talking about time management, supplements, and stuff that you use to help with certain process, everyday life.
Every day.
And we're like, man, we should really be talking about that.
Yeah.
So here we are. Let's talk about one thing we talked about right away was time management, because when things get busier, we have to figure out ways to divide that day with the most purpose behind it.
Yeah.
Getting tasks done. My partner in crime, Clint, he's great at that time management stuff. He'll be like on the phone with somebody for like 2 hours. I'm like, how did you fit that into what we were doing today?
Blocked off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like keeping stats. So yeah, what do you do time management wise to get through the chaos?
Oh man. So let me start here. So number one, I read or saw this thing one time. It says you get 24 hours in a day, 8 hours for sleeping, 8 hours for work, 10 hours. Let's say you could work 10 hours a day. What are you doing with the other 5? And then when you added it up, it's like 5 or 6 hours. You're like, whoa, that's a lot of hours. You know what I mean? So you really start, at least me, really looking at the importance of things. And it's not to say that I'm like, go, 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 but it's really been a game changer. So I'll take it back to the calendar. Like calendars, man, like, okay, I schedule the gym, I schedule my health. I schedule family time. Sometimes weeks are busier and stuff like that. So it gets a little crazier, but everything's I'm not like Sundays I know are for, family and home, just more compressed without getting detailed about the schedule. But I also know what my Sunday's going to look like already. And it doesn't involve a lot of Netflix. I don't watch a lot of TV personally. we'll watch it at the end of the night before bed just to unwind and stuff like that. But most times we're like, having dinner or a home project or maybe going to church in the morning, So we try and fill our day with positivity. But like, I'll use Tuesdays as an example. I know Tuesdays I got to work the restaurant, and then I know my kid has karate, and I kind of take advantage of that time for the gym. We get home, we have dinner, homework, and next thing you know, it's time for bed. So, it's really filled in without overwhelming myself or my family. It's just, this is what I'm doing today, and that's it. It doesn't veer too far off from that. So my big threes are business. I'm a musician to music and family. And if it doesn't fall into those big threes, and, I say no a lot. I've learned the art of saying no. And, family kind of, there's subcategories to that. But, if it's a cousin's wedding or something like that, I make sure to attend, But I don't make it to every family function. I wish I could. But, time's valuable, really. You choose where to spend it.
Yeah. I think there's an average time frame that people spend on their phone scrolling a day.
Yes.
And it's like 4 hours nationally.
Easy.
Shay, can we confirm that? Can you Google that and see what
Easy.
the average time someone spends scrolling on their phone a day? Now, I do have to say that this probably doesn't apply to your content creators and stuff like that, because they have to search trends, search music, search different things, but also they're posting. So I wouldn't say like the time spent in certain apps would be something you would add to their time. But on average, folks that aren't in that world, it's like 4 hours or something like that. Shay's gonna let us know right now.
Yeah, and I feel like there's something distracting, man, of looking to see.
What's that?
It says 4 hours to 5 hours and 16 minutes
a day.
Yeah,
that's not a week. That's a day. Wow.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. So you talk about the 24 hours
time. So if you're not getting something done, there's a reason, right? Like, if you were to, like, I don't know, I'll just write a song for an example. If you're on social media for those 5 hours and you're not taking the time to write that song, then it's never going to get done. Imagine if you spend that 5 hours on a song, and I'm just using that as an example, right? Whatever that project is for you, like, man, imagine that's 5 hours a day. That's 35 hours a week or something like that, if my math is right. Like, you start, like, getting into mathematics here, it's like, it's pretty nuts, dude. So
yeah, that adds up quick.
Yeah, it adds up really quick. Yeah, absolutely. So, and
35
then now
hours
you're
a
talking,
week.
you're going to months, and then you're going to years, and it gets pretty crazy. Like,
it's scary.
It's scary.
It's scary too, because
what you could get done in a year in that time.
Yeah, and I talk to my wife about this is our lives are so finite. We don't know when it's over, but we know it's gonna be over.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, with that, there's a pressure to it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's like the thing you hear about kids, right? Your kids, we only get a little window of them just being children and being these fun, spirited, innocent things that just have a ball, and then we just know most of them as adults.
Yeah.
For a longer period of time. That's like
definitely.
the longer stretches with them as adults. And you talk about the importance of time management.
Yeah, my boy's one of my biggest investments with that.
Yeah,
stuff. I try and be as present as possible, and try and be a good best father I could be to him in the time that I have him.
And we talk about all the other things we got to get done.
Yeah,
right. And there's always been this conversation of the work-life balance, right? And and I'm not trying to sound pessimistic about that whole work-life balance thing, but I don't buy in on it.
Nah, no such thing.
I can't.
Nah, no such thing. You incorporate everything, man, including your family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Into your work.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of times with that said, and I hope I didn't cut you off or anything, but I brought my boy to work with me on the truck, and he hangs out, and he's always seen, whatever. The big one for me was I took him to a large event, and I thought, still consider him a little kid. He's 8 years old. He's probably not so little no more, right? Having him sit in the corner, do whatever. And I turn around, and he has a drink ready for a customer, and I'm like, man, you're ready, huh? Like, he's just ready.
He read the book, man.
Yeah, he read the book. Like, he was ready. And that was like a big eye opener that, you know, he watches and he's ready to help.
They watch everything.
So if that's our quality time where I could take him to work with me, then, you know, that's where it's going to be. But I agree. My life is work and I love it. You know, it's not like, I got to go to work. It's just sometimes I got to do things in between that involve work, family, all the above. But it's just really bringing my focus back when we're at dinner or whatever that is, right? It's those blocks. Like, okay, me and my boy went out for a bike ride today. Now we get to chill. He's in his room hanging out, and I get to do me for that extended period of time before dinner. And so really using your time wisely. It's worked for me, man, and you know, advice I've, you know, taken in and really implemented in my life, really.
Well, you told me you still felt 16.
Still feel 16, man. Yeah, and that goes with the health thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I've been watching my health, man. I turned 45 this year, and you know, I really took another direction with my health and to see where I could take that, you know. I'm not looking to become a bodybuilder by any means, but it's more a long longevity, I guess you could say. You know, in the restaurant biz, it's tough. Food truck is tough. There's a lot of bending and a lot of mental space that's taken, and really like changing my health, man, has really helped get through those really heavy weeks. You know, like it's been a game changer. It's definitely been a game changer because I still have, even after like a long day, I still have energy to burn, which is to me priceless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was taking some tips from you. Well, I'm going to follow those. We ain't giving those away on the air, though.
Oh, yeah, my vitamins.
That's another episode. Vitamins. And all that.
Yeah, my vitamin collection is pretty nuts these days.
The other thing we were talking about, so I took a lot of pride for a while in being able to manage a bunch of different things in my head, right? Like scheduling, putting stuff on the calendar, getting things out that needed to go out, emails, responding to stuff. And I thought I was a badass for a while.
Yeah.
And then a couple months ago, I saw a pattern where I was starting to miss a couple things.
Yeah.
And I had to have a real conversation with myself. Say, yeah, I don't think this way's working anymore.
Yeah, definitely not.
Whether it's because I'm getting older or, you know, just there's more stuff going on and there's a lot more things to keep moving forward. And it was crazy. My buddy Ron Arenas, who does a show here, he does Southwest Flavor. Unprovoked, completely unprovoked, we're sitting out here in the venue space talking about different things. And he starts telling me how he manages everything because he has a very, very...
I believe it.
Like a good size operation with his HVAC cooling and plumbing and all that stuff that they do. And in my head, I'm like, man, I was talking to him, I was like, man, I wonder how this dude just covers all that. Cause he's here doing his show. He's got his show. He's got to book his guests. He's got to get advertisers. He's got to stay on top of everything, fill in spots. That's just here.
And he looks cool.
Right, like, yeah, I've never seen him sweat. And he's got the same demeanor. And then he just goes, you know, he pulls this notebook out.
Yeah.
And I see him. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I write everything down. I write all my tasks that I need to knock out for the day down.
100%.
And it actually took me back to a coach I had in high school. And I remember him always carrying around an index card, a new index card every day. And I'm like, man, maybe it's time for that.
Yeah.
So I you know, the note app on my phone.
Yeah.
I started putting tasks that need to be done every single day. And they're in priority, right? Like these need to be done today.
Yeah.
Have to be. And if for whatever reason you can't, it needs to be added to the next page, the next day.
Yeah.
Game changer.
Like, right.
And I'm not like,
just know that list is never gonna end, dude. It never ends. Like you just keep adding to the list. Funny story. I read this, and I won't get too deep into it, but I read about this billionaire, and the billionaire was asked, "How are you going home at 6 p.m.?" Like he was like, you know, you're a billionaire, you know, you must be busier than the average person. And that was his response. He goes, you know, he has a list of things to do throughout the day. Obviously, he uses his time very wisely, focused work, if you will, you know. And he goes, but the list never ends. So I end the list at 6, and I make sure that the rest of my investment goes into my health or my family in the evening. And guess what? He's right back to it every day. You know what I mean? And it's just that, and that was a game. I was like, man, that's a game changer for me. Like, you know, thinking that somehow I'm going to get to the end of this list. It's never going to end.
Yeah.
It's never going to end.
One thing I noticed too about the list was staying early on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I noticed like if there's something that I can't make,
Mm-hmm.
if I communicate to the people, hey, I'm not going to be able to make this, and I'm a couple days or a week out.
You're like,
they're great. They're like, oh, thanks for the heads up.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to, you know,
and
right.
that's okay, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's
day
not of an
before,
emergency and, you know, you don't want to, I try and stick to all my commitments personally. And, you know, I'm proud to say I don't, you know, drop out on a lot of them and stuff like that. But sometimes it's okay to say no. And you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know, they could be rescheduled, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. The list has been huge for me.
Good. I'm glad.
In this world.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm like not ashamed of it, you know. It's like it's like a badge of honor having this.
Yeah,
this
definitely.
list.
It's
I'm
a
like,
learning. It's a learning.
This is what I know.
Man, it's like you said, we try and hold it in, and you kind of hold that as a badge of honor, and then you realize the real badge of honor is keeping your mental health intact, and just writing stuff down, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Keeping yourself from burnout, because even like your battery, you only get so much battery a day. So if you're using it on brain space on stuff that you need to do, it's probably not the best use of your brain space.
Oh, 100%. Because it takes away from the kids, the time with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my wife even during that time, she was like, you need to hone in.
You're mentally drained.
You're coming
by the end
here
of the day, man. You can't do that to yourself or your family.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. That's a big thing I've learned recently.
Yeah.
For sure. Is with the busyness comes the...
Yeah. And that's the price of learning, you know, wisdom as it comes, you know. So I hope it's going to be a game changer for you, man, the rest of the year and, you know, moving on.
Until I need the next thing, right?
Yeah.
Because you talk about it doesn't set in stone like this way of doing things that I have now might not work.
Yeah.
And
constant adjustment, man. And like, and again, the list never ends. And as soon as you know that, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll just use one more example, man. I had the biggest list. Big list. Killed it. I'm like, thinking that somehow next day it's like filled up again. And it was just like an eye opener, like, man, like, you know, just do the most important tasks of the day, and you know, the little stuff gets figured out.
Hey Shay, I want you to look up something else before we go, and I'll connect why, but I want you to go on Google and see how many millionaires there are in the United States of America in 2025. If you could. The reason I want to do that, right, is we're talking about all this stuff we've done, all this stuff going on to make sure that we're honed in and everything. And then we see what's going on social media. We see people, life's freaking awesome. It's the highlight.
Yeah.
We're all making it.
Yeah.
Right? I know all of us can go, yes, we've looked on social media, and you would think every single person that comes across a feed or anything is what?
Like,
a millionaire.
Yeah, successful. Yeah,
super successful. Yeah. So what I want to address and say on this show, because like every other show, there's a purpose behind things, and I always like to try to get some kind of influence out of it. But you know, you've obviously had conversations with yourself about goals and things you want to do. You did the book.
Yeah.
You know, you're running this business. You still do that. You're still finding ways to be better. You're still taking time for yourself, your family, and everything in the business. I told you that I ran into a wall and started having some mess ups and had to fix it.
Yeah.
Because I had a conversation with myself, had a conversation with my wives. Our wives are amazing, right? We can't do any of this without them. So knowledge of that. But also having in our minds and realizing and knowing the amount of millionaires that are in the United States. So when we all get caught up in the idea that we need to be this millionaire, that we need to be this rich person, and it's like, well, let me redefine rich for you.
It's about nearly 25 million millionaires.
There's 25 million millionaires in the United States of America. Yep. Okay, what's the population of the United States? It's like 360 million. And there's only 25. Yeah, there's only
343.6 million.
343.6 million people in the United States, and only 25 million.
It's not crazy no more, dude. It's not crazy. That's not the goal no more either. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not saying it's a bad goal, but sometimes, man, like you realize what you really want. you picture what you want your life to look like. And 9 times out of 10, it's not that much, not as much money as you think it's gonna take to make you happy, right? Yeah. So that's not the goal no more, man. Maybe at one point in life it was, and but now it's peace and peace of mind, really. You know what I mean? I feel like the building is what keeps me getting up every day. And one day maybe I'll reach 1 million, maybe not. But I feel like I've taken off that pressure off myself personally. Same with social media, man. Like looking at what other people are doing. Like I don't look no more, man. I just focus on my own life, and so far it's been amazing for me personally. You know what I mean? Some of the things I've never thought I'd like write a book.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, man, like you got an author, like what? Like it's crazy, and that's really been, if I give any credit, it's just really focusing on my own life and not other people's lives. It really keeps me honed in and just working every day and not thinking that I'm behind somehow.
Yeah.
Or ahead, right? Because there's always something to learn and
anytime, I'm speaking for myself, I don't know about other people. Anytime I get even a little confident or a little cocky, I get humbled immediately.
Absolutely.
Immediately. Either it's a text message or something goes on.
Yeah.
I try not to, I don't even, I just pretend it's just an even keel right now. This is what we need to get done. This is
Oh yeah, man.
It's
crazy. God has his ways, man, of humbling you real quick.
Like, preach.
Yeah.
Preach. Oh,
100%. Yeah.
But hey, we're out of time. It's been great. That went quick.
Yeah, it sure did,
It was a good day. Anytime Gabe and Marielle are in the studio, it's a good day.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. So everybody, thank you so much for watching and listening to Local Marana Live. We are now on Mondays. It's great, and we look forward to doing more of these episodes. Go out there and kick ass in your own way. That's all I'm going to say for the rest of the day. Okay? Go out there, kick ass on your own way. Oh, kick ass in your own way. Kick ass in your own way.